Everybody seeing the screen okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna move you guys over here. Okay. So, I guess we went with that. Ellen, last time, I guess we'll go bottom up with window this time. I won't miss anybody. Or actually, you know what? Let's start with Kim.
It seemed like you started with me last time.
Yeah, I probably did. All right. Let's start with Kim.
All right.
I haven't seen your stuff in a while.
Some old stuff. This is from a couple of years, year and a half ago, a Rhine River cruise, and this is in the Black Forest in Germany. And we were there in October, and this area had the high-speed train coming through, and I was lucky enough to actually get a couple pictures without any kind of blur, and just the red train against the greens and browns and a hint of orange of the trees just really kind of caught my attention. And there's actually, which I didn't know it until I processed this picture and really enlarged it a bit, there's a person sitting in the very front window. There's a kid looking out of it.
Wow.
Out that window.
Yeah. Let's see, I think right here. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, it looks like this viaduct was slightly tilted because everything else looks pretty upright.
Yeah. Well, it's on an incline. The bridge itself is coming down the hill a little bit.
Yeah, because when I first glanced at this, I thought, oh, maybe it wasn't straight. And I saw the bricks and they're straight. And the trees look pretty straight. So
Yeah.
I kind of like the way it's leading in and going down. Anybody have any thoughts on this one? Okay.
You probably had to have a fast shutter speed on that, did you?
I did. I wouldn't be unless I went back and looked at the file. I couldn't tell you what it was. I don't remember, but I do know I had it set relatively fast for it.
Sandy, if you crop that a little tighter.
Okay.
Yeah, that was I thought too. Get rid of this because it's really
Get rid of that.
not adding anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we can try it in the middle here. See if that's enough, and maybe take some of this top out and give it a little more
Okay.
horizontal dimension. So let's just look at that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it gets rid of that not quite empty, but yet empty space to the left. Okay.
It's interesting. I see the tree now in the arch below that I did not notice before.
Yeah.
So it brings out there's actually several of the coloration. You could bring up the coloration on both sides.
Yeah.
Sandy, take it back to the original for a second, if you would, if you can. Drop that crop. Okay, there's not enough of the other archway over there to really do much with.
Yeah.
No,
But it does bring out the two other arches a bit more.
yeah, I suppose if you want to be more symmetrical, you can even flip into this one like this one is, but that might be a bit.
I might even try cropping it right to the, just so you have the archway on the left.
Or just here.
That might be too much. It might be too much, but bringing that right side over to like where you have the vertical lines for the bricks coming up.
The right side?
Right between the two arches. I don't know if that would be too much or not.
Yeah, I think that might be a little too much. Yeah, I mean, take a quick look. Yeah, I think you're losing the impact of the flow. You might want to consider
Getting rid of it to the back of just the first car.
Yeah, possibly. Or maybe just leave enough in there that you know there's more coming,
Uh-huh.
Oh,
and then take a little bit off of here as well. Like that. That might be an option.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a little more. Maybe the first window there. Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
But yeah, you got some options there.
Yeah, I get the
Yeah,
idea.
and some
Okay.
of the top off, and if you want to leave some top, then I'd radiate it down so this is darker back here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Oh, fun.
nice.
oh, pretty close up. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
something local.
Yeah.
Ran it through Topaz. It
Yeah.
is an oil painting filter.
Mhm.
And I just, between the reds and the greens, which popped, but then I just like the two brown leaves that got caught
Uh-huh.
by everything.
Very nice. I mean, it's just the contrast between the greens and the reds are beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. It
Yeah.
picks it up a little bit, and it's not too perfect.
I find these cactus interesting.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, something you may want to do, at least on this one, is fill in that area with black where it misted.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't mind so much, but I don't know. I just keep going over here
That
maybe
would-
because it's in the center and there's so much black around it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
no big deal.
Very nice. Okay. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe just a hint of a vignette, just a center
Hmm.
dry in, but I wouldn't do much.
Okay.
What do you use? Topaz?
This was Topaz. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess while you were in Topaz, you could just add a vignette. Do you use Luminar as well, or?
Not much. I use it for the sky replacement if I do that. Otherwise, I don't. I like Topaz better.
Yeah, I do for painterly stuff. I'm
Uh-huh.
beginning to really like their vignette though, because it's got that inner light, which is kind of interesting.
In Luminar's vignette.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just reset this here. And, just gotta bring the strength down. I usually like to bring it down a little darker than I'll end up with, just to figure out where I want it and what shape I want. You know, do something like that. And I usually like a lot of transition, and then I'll take the strength down. You know, just a little bit. It doesn't need much.
Sure. Okay.
Something like that. Now, if I was going to do this in Luminar, then you've got that inner light where you can kind of balance between. So you'd go to, I'm in AI. I don't know if you have 4 AI.
Oh no, I haven't upgraded my Luminar in a long time.
So if you're in 4, you know, the edit's pretty much the same. So
Uh-huh.
there's your vignette there. Here's your advanced settings. So again, I take it down quite a bit.
Okay.
Figure out what your size is. If you want it more rectangular, how you want it to feather, and the size. And we'll bring it in just a little bit, get a little more feather.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it a little dark here, and I'm gonna take the center light. See,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Now you can take this just down a hint like that,
Uh-huh.
and then you've got that inner light to play with too.
Huh.
So if you over feather, you know, that tends to darken it up a bit,
Sure.
but then with the center light, it counterbalances it nicely.
Okay.
Is that in the version 4 as well, Sandy?
Yeah, I do. I do. So it would be pretty much the same in version 4. The only difference in AI are the ones that are marked AI. Those are the ones they've reworked. So the sky they've done a little more with, the augmented sky, atmosphere. They've done a lot with the face and skin and body stuff. They've changed some of this stuff around, and they've gotten rid of some of the ones they had. I kind of like that dual upper lower balance that they used to have, but the super contrast is real nice. You know, you can play with, like, see how I'm bringing those highlights in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can balance if you want to really blow them out.
Oh,
Or if you want to bring them in, you know, you can do that. And the same with the midtones, you know, you can get those to where you want it, and then kind of blow back and forth on that. And the same with the shadows.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then there's color harmony. That's new in this version too. So you can play with the brilliance. So if that's, see how the needles are blowing out. I'm pointing with my hand. See the way the needles are blowing out here?
Yeah.
If you take that brilliance down a little bit, you can get a little more detail in there. And then you got overall warmth and coolness. Yeah, so you could warm it up a bit or cool it off.
Uh-huh.
Obviously lends itself to being warmer. So there's a lot you can play with, even just in the version 4 level.
Sure.
The AI. I'm just playing around with the AI more, and I'm liking some of the things in there that you can do that you can't necessarily do in Lightroom or Topaz. So I guess they all have their own little things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is fun.
Nice.
That's from Indiana.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice. Very
There
nice.
was a really nice city park just about 10 minutes from where we lived that had 2 or 3 lakes in it. So I'd go down and look for these guys and try and get some shots of them.
What lens were you using there? Ken?
That would have been my go-to, the only long lens I have. It's a Tamron 16 to 300. So I was probably zoomed out to about 300 and then cropped.
Yeah, it's a nice lens. Nice.
I like
Again,
it.
I think a little vignette could help this.
Okay.
In Topaz, if you play around with precision, contrast, and detail, you can bring a lot of this out.
Right of that, we're out. Okay.
Yeah. You can play
I
around.
probably did a bit, but probably didn't
Yeah.
backed off doing too much on it.
Yeah.
This is from a couple years ago. Put in
Yeah.
a bunch of old ones. I haven't done anything new recently.
I created a look where I just have those loaded and then I just apply it rather than have them
Uh-huh.
load them all together. But basically, yeah, you can. Yeah, micros generally seems to want to add a little grain. I would start maybe with the low. There's your medium. There's your high. Sometimes bringing the high down helps more, but this one I think, yeah, just a little bit. So there's your before and after.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you don't want it to affect the background, you know, you can just mask it out.
Sure.
Yeah, so your choice on that. Okay.
And the last one's for Alan's benefit.
Oh. That looks familiar.
I think it probably does.
I was actually walking in that a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
This was taken several years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, actually, when we were up there. And we were actually staying in Radium Hot Springs
Nice.
and then drove up to Lake Louise for the day. So as we got there, the clouds were just starting to lift.
Yeah. Very nice shot.
That's a great shot.
Thank you. One of my favorite places.
Yeah.
You've got, Kim, you've got one little spot over on the right-hand side, or
Oh,
if that's a cloud, or if that's an artifact.
Oh,
Up-
actually, it looks
up
like a-
farther.
Up farther, I see it.
Yeah, up farther, right in the middle of that white cloud, Sandy.
Oh, the
Up
middle
here,
of
up
white.
left. Nope, too far.
Oh,
No,
right here,
Yeah,
yeah.
right
right
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's something on the sensor. Couple
Yeah.
of them. Oh, there's a few of them there. That's no big
Yeah.
deal.
I would consider darkening the foreground up to the reflection, just darkening that area in a little bit.
Oh, the water?
Yeah, the part
Okay.
where it's rippled, just darken that down a little bit. It just draws you in more.
Uh-huh.
Would you crop up as well, or
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to try it and see.
Yeah, let's take a look here.
I like that shape better.
Yeah,
That spot on that dark spot on the right really draws my eye.
yeah, I knocked that
Right
out.
there,
That right
yeah.
there?
I'd fill that in.
Yeah, just knock that out. Yeah, and then just gradiate this. Be easy enough to do. So again, we can play with Luminar or anything, pretty much will do it. Elements.
Sure, to fill that in.
Yeah. Oh, I fixed the last, oh, I see why. I didn't pull the image over. Okay. Just click on it. Okay, there we go. All right. So if we go back to edit here, every erase, which to me from Photoshop or Elements would make me think I'm erasing down through the canvas. But on here, it means like a healing brush.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is kind of weird, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Interesting.
that's what that did. I probably should have gone a little further or used a bigger brush, but you get the idea. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they added something kind of neat on composition. They have an auto straighten, which most of them have. Then they have a suggested, and they have a perspective too, which is pretty easy. And then they also have composition where they suggest a crop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of, which I think they try to put the interest on the intersections, you know. Yeah, in this case, I don't like it, but
Hey,
yeah, I guess it's real nice if you're a beginner to kind of pull you along and get you going, but I think sometimes the choices aren't exactly right, but for the most part, they seem to be. Yeah, so.
Sandy, when you use the composition in Luminar, does it just save your last thing that you've looked at? Because I don't see where it says apply or done, so there's several times in using Luminar, I'm not sure, is this being saved?
Yeah, it's saving it there. If I want to get rid of it, I hit this, this button and it gets rid of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But sometimes
there's
you
no on or off switch on it, unfortunately,
Right.
like on some
Yeah.
other ones. Yeah. But if we just wanted to just get it straightened up, that would do it. Okay. So,
All right, thanks.
yeah. All righty. Thanks for bringing those in.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
Laura said hi.
Nice selection, Kim.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, there was.
Jay, we haven't seen anything from you in a while. We haven't seen you either, actually.
Bit more off than on.
Yeah.
Now
good for
this
all.
one, I was just playing with yellows and whites because so often they're blown out.
Mhm.
And I was just, so I was using Luminar a little bit just to get the coloration, not so much, I'm not very excited about this other than just, I was just working there with the colors.
Now, did you underexpose it a bit or use exposure compensation to keep the lights detailed?
I actually went and brought it down even more, whether I should have or not, but at least that was
Oh,
that
no,
was
no,
the way
no.
I was
I'm
working.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, I assume
Yes,
you did
that
that.
is what I was doing
Captured
was the,
Yeah, when you captured it, did you use compensation as well?
yes,
Good,
yes.
okay.
Because so often I have found in desert flowers, I'll have them bleed too much of the yellow off in the white, in the yellows and whites. So I was just
Mhm.
trying to work on that.
Yeah, you lose your detail in the whites and the highlights, yeah.
So I lost the detail in the back, so that, you know, that may be a negative. I don't know.
No, I think it makes everything pop, and I think there's enough detail going on in here that there's more beside just the foreground.
Nice contrast.
Yes.
Mhm.
As you can see the detail in the white leaves.
Mhm.
Yes, I thought I could see enough there, and I knew the rose was, was beyond its peak. But like I said, I was just as much playing here with just my coloration as anything.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I used largely Luminar there to do, and the erase I have liked also, Sandy.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like the healing brush in Elements. At first, I just stayed away from it because I thought it actually erased like it would in Photoshop or Elements, but it's actually a healing brush. So, yeah, good.
Now, the next two pictures are ones that I've been trying to work on a little bit on this critter. So these are the prairie dogs,
Oh,
and we're going to kill them off out here. We're working at it very hard with all of the building, and they're such an interesting creature. So what I had trouble here, Sandy, I was trying to get more of the light off its back and bring out the fur a little more.
Mhm.
And I used Dodge and Burn and local selection, and I still didn't manage to do a very good job. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can help me, you can show what possibly
Well, we
we
can
can
take a
do.
look at it. I probably could have got more out of your raw image. If you
All right,
have something like this next time, yeah, just send the raw. But again,
okay,
this would have been a good case where if you underexposed, you would have brought that stuff in, and then this stuff would have been darker, and you could have brought it back a lot easier than trying to bring this
to
in.
go the other way.
Yeah, the shadow detail is always easier to get than these highlights.
Okay,
I typically set my camera at a -2/3 compensation, just out the gate.
okay,
And if it needs
okay.
more, I'll do it.
Oh.
That's just a good idea, but let's see if we can, let's look at this other one too. Yeah, this one's not as bad. You're losing a little detail here, but we don't care. The critter's looking good. Yeah, you're kind of blown here again. So, yeah, so this area.
And I was set where I could not get in a better location. So I'm about in as good a location to these little fellas as I can be
Mhm.
with the morning sun. So that's what I was fighting.
Yeah, yes. So fight to bring the shadows up rather than to save the highlights in your post, because it's always easier to bring the shadows up. Just
Okay.
a thumb for everybody here. Now let's do this one in Photoshop, since a lot of you use Photoshop or Elements, and you can play around with this a lot in Camera Raw too. You can do this in Lightroom as well if you have that. You use it.
actually, I like the way it looks blown up here.
Yeah, I like it cropped too.
Nice detail,
Right,
whiskers.
Yeah, well, that's, I would definitely consider cropping this guy in pretty tight.
Yeah.
Maybe something like this.
Even more. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I was fascinated with the amount of whiskers that were still there.
Yeah, yeah, they really show up here.
Yeah,
And I don't know what, I hadn't noticed that on the tail, so I don't know what's going on there.
yeah, that's it. I'm not sure what that is. Well, it's easy enough to find that stuff out. You know,
I think the tail might be slipping into like an out of focus. It's almost like
That's what it looks like.
bokeh back there.
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's got some
Uh-huh.
weird things
So
going on there. I'm wondering if maybe you did some masking or something. So,
I was doing some masking, so I may have masked in it.
yeah, and you missed that part.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then you got that hard edge from masking too, I think.
Yeah.
Because this looks fine here, and then it's just right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you're
Because
masking,
that was,
if you're masking an element, all right, I'm going to take this and duplicate it. And if I put a mask on it, let's just get a brush here. Don't need one that big. But a good idea if you're masking is to turn off what's underneath it. You can see where you are because it turns white. Okay. You're poking through it. You know, if you've got the other one on, you can't tell what you're
Okay.
doing. See, oops,
mhm.
you know, the image there. Yeah, you know, you can't really see what you're doing here, but if you turn this off, you can see underneath. It's kind of like wiping the fog off a window, you know, in the winter time. So, let's go back here. Okay. So, as far as working on this, we can take this and if you were just initially bringing it in with your raw, you would go to camera raw. But if you're already here, you can grab it by filter. And I'm not sure how you do in elements. Maybe Wendell can help me out on that.
Not too much, but probably I'd just use the burn tool with a little.
I'm talking about getting camera raw from elements after
Oh.
you're already open. Can you do that?
From a JPEG?
Well,
Yeah,
after
well-
you're in it and have moved out of it, I think is that what you're asking, Sandy? After
Yeah,
we've
if you
moved-
already opened up camera raw,
Yeah.
and you said okay, and you're in elements on your main canvas, is there a filter or a sidebar or somewhere where you can get a camera raw?
Can go back.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Remember,
yeah,
Uh-uh.
okay, all right.
You go back and you bring it back in and say just opening camera raw.
Oh, so
You
you
can do
basically
it that
Bring
way.
it clear, yeah, bring
Okay.
it clear out.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you can't do it after you're already in. All right, gotcha.
No.
Not
Okay,
easily.
will it keep the settings that you initially set? Does it keep like a little sidecar file like,
If you've kept it in a PSD, if you're still working in a PSD file, it'll be
Yeah.
there.
all right, but raw may not. Okay. All right, well, I guess, the obvious thing is you can.
Or
do-
raw. Yeah, I'm sorry, raw.
If you pull the highlights down, you're getting real muddy.
Yeah, that's when I got into,
Yeah, so that gets to be an issue. So this doesn't seem to have, well, let's see here. All right, we go into brush. Yeah, you can't add a color like you can in Lightroom. Another way to cheat this would be to just color it down. So basically, you could just paint an area in. Let's just do this back part here. All right. And I'm just gonna take the flow all the way up so that it's there. All right. And so you're gonna want to warm it up a bit and maybe pull the exposure down. But you see it gets gray and kind of ugly. Just bring it down. So I don't know that even adding texture or
yeah,
grain's gonna help you here. So
that was where I was, at least in Luminar, was trying to use
yeah,
texture and things.
yeah. So
Might try cloning.
exactly, I'm going back the old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
which is basically where
All right.
you would take this thing and I'm actually, now you can actually put cloning on a layer above it. And then that way, if you go too far, you can feather it back and forth. The old days, you had to clone right the image. But here, if you do a clone tool, if we go to our clone tool, on here, you've got the ability to do current and below or all layers. So if we do current and below, then basically, if you're grabbing something from like over here
Right.
and you want to come over here, you can kind of bring that in. You can keep grabbing different spots.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
That's the best way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more work and it takes a little practice, but it's certainly worth the effort.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, super. Yeah.
Then you can take that and you can try different blend modes if you want, where you can see what works the best. So maybe, yeah, I don't think any of these work that well. I was thinking multiply might, if we back it off a bit.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. That's gonna work.
Mhm.
And I haven't decided if I go to this spot in the evening, what I'm going to have. But the main thing is that maybe that 2/3 under or so will be enough to help me out on the
Yeah.
compensation. Yeah.
Now, some of you guys are new to me. You've been here before or in and out. Is there anything you want me to review on this, or do you have it grasped what we did so far on this one? Okay, good.
Okay.
If you don't, speak up. We'll do it again. No problem. Okay. All right. Hide that. All right, so that's what I do on these. Again, you can save yourself a lot of pain if you capture those highlights a little better.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if that
Yep,
guy's
thank you.
around, you probably have another chance to go play with him. So let's see what happens there. All right. Let's go down to Steve and then Wendell, and we'll work our way from the top. Okay.
It was just Topaz Filter Week for me. This was an original, well, I took the original photograph just into Topaz and applied the contrast cables preset to it after doing the AI clear too. But this is, again, a piece of artwork down at the Solar Art Gallery.
Oh, okay.
The artist is Stephen I, E-Y-E. You can go up and take a look at a lot more of his stuff online too. But I just like the effect that it gave me here.
Nice.
And then you put a vignette on it, Steve?
Actually,
That's
when I
enough.
used the contrasting cables, it seemed to have applied it on its own.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
So that look came with a vignette built in.
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
How big is that, Steve? Is it pretty big?
I think it's about 2 feet tall.
2 feet.
So it's relatively good size. He makes some huge stuff. I saw just a photograph online because I went up to look again, and he has done like an entranceway that's got to be 12 feet tall.
Wow.
And kind of the same kind of milieu here. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it kind of almost reminds me of, what was the,
Medusa.
Medusa.
yeah,
Yeah.
Medusa, but then
Mhm.
the face itself is almost reminiscent of the one sci-fi movie from the 20s.
Well,
I can't think
Metropolis.
of the name of it. Yes, Metropolis, yes.
Yeah.
The,
Color version.
yeah.
So that kind of halo that's around the outside of it, is that part of it, or is that?
Actually, that the figure sits on a funky table, and the wall behind it is just kind of like plasterboard that's been painted, kind of a light tan, I think it is. So I did remove a bit of crease because where the two pieces come together right above her head, I took a little bit of that out.
Yeah, I think the effect in Topaz pulled this out too, and kind of
Yeah,
blended out.
little halo effect around it, and yeah.
Yeah.
So I've, like I said, I've just been in Topaz playing
Good.
pretty much, and
All right.
so the next one is just Tubac again, and this was part of a totem statue down there, and I think again straight out of camera, pretty much with just the basic adjustments, and then into Topaz, then put the color burst preset on it.
Oh,
So did that come with a background texture, or was that shot?
No, that comes with the background texture.
Really?
What was behind that was just simply blue sky.
Ah, okay.
So it is patterned out that blue sky in that particular way,
Mhm.
which I was kind of pleased with because it did add some texture in there.
Yeah.
It's a little magenta and purple. And, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah. Is that the color burst effect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, color burst. Yes.
Thank you.
Now this is the only one that doesn't really have a filter applied to it. This next one's Andy.
Hmm.
This taken in a window in Tubac. But I
Nice.
just love the contrasting color here. And
Yes.
so yes,
Yes.
I darkened everything, took all the shadows down, and did some adjustment brush in there too
Very
to
nice.
darken things a bit
Very
more.
nice.
Yeah,
I
excellent,
really,
excellent shot.
yeah, I really
Extra
like.
composition on that one. Yeah, it just kind of leads your eye through.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Excellent. Excellent, Steve.
Beautiful.
thank you.
So you don't have to rely on those filters. And actually, you don't. You just use them to play, which is good. You know, some people think they push a button and it makes a picture better, and not necessarily so. Composition,
No. Yeah.
exposure are really important as well.
Yep.
Good job.
And this I did some work on Buddha. He's full size. If you look, if I had the original picture in here, top to bottom. But there's so much stuff in that picture. I figured I'd crop it down to get just Buddha's face and a bit of his upper body and arms. I had to remove the statue he had of St. Francis that was in back of him. And then did a little bit more cropping, some shading in there with the adjustment brush, and then into Topaz, where I used the spiny intensity preset.
Now,
I just
had
kind of like
had you
like
done extensive sharpening in Lightroom before you came in there, or did
no,
so the preset brought up all this?
yes, it did.
Yeah, very nice.
It brought up all that, well, I think it applied some texture there because I don't think that it's all that texturized in the original photograph.
Mhm.
look at it, see what am I talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you see the stuff and then you go back and look at what it grabbed to create it. It's
Yeah.
minuscule and hardly there, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you don't want it there, you go, where'd that come from? Then you go back there, it's this little speck, you just throw it out and it's gone. Just do it over again. Nice.
I think he was just a little, the resin or the clay, whatever they used here was, no, excuse me, it is that textured, Sandy.
Mhm.
So it didn't really add anything more. It just brought it out a little bit more.
Okay.
And Wendell, you got me started on the molten gold, I think it is, or
Okay,
for this. But
wow.
okay. All right.
this is Big Sister, not Big Brother. And the way I did this, and the reason I think that you're seeing all this straight line effect in here, is I had this image on my computer, and I took a picture of this image with my camera, and then brought it back into,
Uh-huh.
and then put it into Topaz. And I think it picked up all the pixelation
Mhm.
in the screen itself,
Yeah.
in the display,
Yeah.
Wow.
and just highlighted that. So I was kind of pleased with the effect
Yep.
after I saw what it did.
Okay.
That is neat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty cool.
The Matrix.
Yeah. Matrix.
I guess I could have applied one of the greener filters to it. But I just kind of like the way it deepened the shadows in the eyes and around the mouth and nose. And so it was kind of reminded me of like a 1984 Big Brother poster. For
Yes.
some reason.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering on all these
Strip.
lines on top, maybe
Yeah.
just leave a couple of, so it's not so busy up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that helps it.
I was just amazed by, after taking the picture again and putting it back in, what it had done. So
I'll trade you the molten gold for your color burst.
I'll raise you 3.
again, this is like Topaz week for me. You know?
Good. Yeah, it's been my Skylum Luminar week. I just had to do a deep dive into that. There's some interesting things there. But yeah, I love Topaz. It really gives you a lot of possibilities. Okay. Well, thanks for playing. Those look nice. Okay, so
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
yeah, let's go down to Wendell.
Okay, this is the well-known church at Chimayo, New Mexico that I mostly did this just simple Photoshop. I had to do a little bit of darkening up there on those sheet metal roofs to make them stand out from the clouds a little bit, and then played around a little bit with the lightness and darkness in the shadows and the highlights. And then I put it into the oil paint #1 preset in Photoshop to get it a little more like a softer painting rather than the original photograph. And I was mostly just looking at the shapes there and the.
Well, you've got really a wonderful blend of shadow and light and texture, and nothing is glaring. I mean, really, it's really pretty, Wendell. Beautiful.
Well, yeah, I did play with
It
that.
looks-
The wall
It
in
looks
front
like
was
a
too.
painting, yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah. And you can barely see some birds up on the crosses and the roof up there.
Oh,
That's what those are, little spots.
Pigeons.
Yeah.
Doves, excuse me, doves.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Goodness. I have this one that keeps flying into my window and getting up and doing it again. It just confuses me.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Hawks are using the backyard for smorgasbord pretty much.
Mhm.
So,
Oh,
Better than
Oh,
road runner.
Is that where you
Or-
find that halo of feathers with a
yeah,
negative spot in the middle of this thing from where they
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty amazing their impact. The only thing, I don't know if there's any detail in that right-hand window.
Sure. Yeah.
Just to
Uh,
do a little
I
something.
don't think so. I don't remember for sure, but
Yeah.
the other one you can see through past the bell in there, I think to the hill beyond, but
Yeah,
I don't remember anything showing up on the right hand.
yeah. I mean, if you really wanted to get crazy with it, you could just create yourself a shape and then clone some of
Oh,
this,
yeah.
some of this
Yeah.
up into it and part of the roof line,
Yeah.
to give it that, and then dim it down a bit so it's not too bright.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Well, you're
sure that much.
talking about something we'll see on the later on.
Yeah,
Oh, actually, that was next week, I think, that I did that.
mhm. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them just aren't worth all that much work, but
oh, that's nice.
Oh, I like this.
This is California Garrapatta State Park down south of Carmel. Another one of those beautiful places along near Point Lobos. And I just like the peacefulness of the scene. And so I had the little saying below on a card from the Nature Conservancy that I thought was applying to something like this, where you could just sit there and listen to the ocean breaking over the rocks and
Yeah.
birds. So,
Very nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
very, very pretty.
yeah. Didn't really do much. It's just Photoshop. Very little adjustment to it.
And this was where, Wendell?
Garrapatta State Park, California State Park,
Okay.
just south of the Monterey Peninsula, down toward Big Sur.
Yeah.
I like your varying colors. You've got the beautiful yellows in front leading to the
Yeah.
blue, the deep blue of the ocean.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye too.
Mm.
Then the sky was kind of blah, so I cut most of it out. So,
I wonder if just a slight blend here. There's just a line there. It's the only thing I see. This is such a perfect image. But maybe you just take a clone brush at like a 1 or something, just go like that. You just gotta soften it up.
to give it a little bit of blurry.
Here, just this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just either brush dark or brush light, just like a wisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would get rid of that.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I didn't
I don't
think I
know.
messed with that area.
Oh, you know what? It looks like a break. It looks like there's a wave break there. And
That could be, yeah.
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 Enough away that it.
Was that a fog bank moving in, Wendell?
Well, it could be out there too, because the sky is slightly foggy.
Yeah.
So it's not the clear blue.
Yeah, that's probably more like it because the horizon's there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like right here. So maybe that is coming down. Maybe that is fog. Well, then, if that's the case, maybe just take a little bit of light and finish it off that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Just make it blend in a bit better.
Very nice. What part of California is this?
Well, it's, I'd say Northern California, Monterey, south of Monterey.
South of Monterey? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. was in an area near there, and the wildflowers were more of a magenta. Interesting.
Hmm.
Ah, nice.
Okay.
Ooh,
So this is the same place,
really?
probably just pretty much 90 degrees from the other view. And I like this in the photo look, but it just didn't quite excite me that much. It was too stark and detailed, and the colors weren't quite as bright as they showed up here. So this is a Topaz, one of their artistic things called Color Pencil 2, which gave me these nice colors and soft edges.
Nice
And
effect. Yeah.
it also made the ocean a little lighter blue where it was pretty dark before, and the flowers and the plants on the cliff turned out a little brighter. So I did like the effect of that.
Mhm.
And well, I did a little in Photoshop beforehand, getting it cropped down, and but that's about all it took.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I think the frame really adds to that as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for some reason with the color images, I like to put the frames on them just to, I guess, let them not drift off into the black of the screen.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
I
wonder
guess
if
that's,
this color up here was maybe just not quite so bright and saturated, but more towards this here.
let's see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost identical, just not quite so saturated, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
so-
yeah.
it's almost too much because I think it's competing with the nice muted tones you have in here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks like maybe some of the rock cliff is showing through there.
Yeah, so no, I'm thinking maybe grabbing that color for my
Yeah.
yeah, and putting it up here in this border.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
Not quite so bright and saturated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's competing with this a little bit.
Hmm.
Or just take this tone and desaturate it slightly and maybe
Yeah.
you get a hair
On
dark.
the frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Yeah. I thought in this one, I did pick out some color in the picture to use for that outer mat, but I don't remember for sure.
Where you grabbed it, yeah. I know how that goes.
Yeah. And then sometimes I get them and then I play with them again.
Yeah,
Lighten or darken or bring up the color a little more.
yeah. I don't know if going
That's,
more red like this might help too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that might be easier to grab that color compared to the smaller.
Yeah. 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 I guess it's probably better to go a little darker so it
Mhm.
doesn't jump out as much and overwhelm the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, very pretty though. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of you saw this in black and white.
Mhm.
And this one I started out in Photoshop because what I had to do is move the little sailboat to the left over a little ways because it was hiding the end abutment of the bridge there. And I wanted to show that. So I'd fortunately taken another picture from the same spot with the boat in a different place so that I could, in Photoshop, cut out that little section at the left end of the bridge there and paste it over this after I'd moved the boat out of the way. I ended up just doing a selection and moving the boat over. And then, of course, that left me nothing behind. So I had to fill it in
Hmm.
with the picture from the second photo. But it all worked out.
Yeah,
I was
sure
able to
did.
patch it in.
Good, very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I like it
Oh.
better because I remember seeing that wall and it kind of encroached on the boat.
Yeah,
Much
yeah.
better.
And I have another one with the boat out in the middle of the bridge, but I don't like that because it kind of chops up the bridge picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, you
this is a
basically,
nice, this is a nice
you may have this
composition.
area here to work with. It's not going to bother any composition.
Mhm.
of the
So,
bridge or the-
anyway, it took a while to play with that, but it, I think,
Okay.
worked out the way
Very
I.
well, yeah.
And then, well, actually, after all that trigger work, I did take it into the Topaz Artistic Oil Painting 1.
Yeah.
And that's what got the bright colors, because the ocean and the bridge are not this different in the, or bright color in the photo. So it boosted that a lot, and then lost some of the detail on the ground underneath the right end of the bridge, simplified that. So that was a nice one-step fix.
Did
Made
you
it more.
did you smooth the water out a wee bit as well there, Wendell?
No, that was just the way it was. I think probably the wind blowing would
A nice,
rough it in
nice color.
spots.
Very nice color. I like it.
Yeah, that's what the Topaz did that. So,
One of the things I've noticed with a lot of these effects is like in between the cables, and it'll, I don't know why the algorithm
Yeah, it'll fill in.
colors it in. But you can take it out, but you just have to mask it.
Yeah, it's a bit of work. Yeah. Well, just
It's
like
a lot of work. It'd be a lot of work on that one, not worth it probably.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like on the cactus where those loops were filled in the center. Yeah, the same kind of issue. But yeah, I like the way it kept all the detail here and up the uprights and in the cables, and then didn't
yeah,
keep the detail here.
Mhm.
So your
Yeah.
eye goes to the bridge and the sailboat. That works out nice. Now here you picked a mat that makes sense. It's not too bright and it's not too vivid.
mhm,
I think if you take that other one down, even in the icons, you kind of see the difference.
mhm.
Yeah, I think that'll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
In fact, this one I did have a lighter one on it, but it was too bright, so I backed it off.
good. Yeah, no, that works just fine on this one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure does.
So yeah, maybe just go revisit that other one and kind of keep it in mind what you did on this one.
Mhm.
There you go. All right. Anybody else on this? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, this is a little archway in Orvieto, Italy. There were a lot of little niches like this to look into it, walking around that little town. It's up on top of a mountain. And this one I played with a fair amount in Photoshop, mostly lightening some places, darkening others. The original image had the sun coming in from the left up above the stairway. So I had to darken the wall to the right of the stairs and then bring up some detail on the wall straight behind to the left of the stair. And all the while trying to keep the reflections showing in the stonework on the floor
Wow.
down in the archway there. And one thing I did like about it was the plants just kind of form a trail all the way up to the top of the steps.
Mm.
I like that.
It's a nice glow on the top of the steps too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've got a leading line, the middle row of floor tiles lead
Yeah.
to the plants going up.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the wall and the floor joint there also pointing into the stairway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really nice window. Like it.
I like the cool shadows and the warmth up here and how the stairs transition. The
Yeah.
only thing I would have done a little more when you darken this down, it got a little.
Well, yeah, that took a bit of work to get it
Yeah.
as far as I did. And I
Yeah.
thought about trying to clone some of the
Here's a cheat.
wall elsewhere.
Here's a good cheat.
Okay.
Okay.
Wendell, just fire the painter.
Now, here's a good, although looking at it up, it's a little better. Okay, so if you just get a brush,
Yeah.
all right, and I would turn history, I'd turn history on, and since it's open and it's already in this state, you don't need to take a snapshot of the state you're in. If you had done so
Uh,
after you open it, I would first take a snapshot so you can, get back to that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the first thing I would do is I would get a brush, okay, and then hold my option key down and find something in this area for color. And then I would change my mode to hue, right, on your paint brush.
Oh,
And when you do that, I'm going to take it down to about 20%. Well, actually, I'll leave it at 100% just so you can kind of see what it does. It's making it green, so that's not right.
yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of a trial and error thing here. You might want to try something over here that might be a little warmer. No, it's still a little green. So then what I would do is I would take this and I would
Okay.
bring it down just a little bit redder
Uh-huh.
and try that. Hit OK. And that's still not enough. You have to go even more red. That doesn't seem to work. Okay, so we're going to go back to open there. And the other mode that you can try is color.
Hmm.
Okay, so you do color. That's the right color. Okay, now that's a little too strong, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if you take it down to like maybe 10 or 20%, let's try 20%. There you go. And you just wash it in there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, keep it right away. So yeah, sometimes hue doesn't work because it's a neutral color. The hue only shows colors that have some saturation, hue or saturation on them. But if they're neutral, there's not much hue on them. So then you just change the color in your mode. Okay.
Color. Okay.
Yeah. And if you go too far, like like over here, let me make it bigger, more like 100%. Say you goofed and you did something like that, but you like some of it. Rather than doing an undo, you can grab your history brush here. See this one here?
Yeah. Okay.
And you can go paint that back out. So you can either paint it 100%. Let me make it bigger, like that. Okay. Or you can make it, like 20%, just kind of feather it down. If you want to blend it like that, maybe you want just a little of it in there. Okay. We're gonna just take it out because it doesn't belong there,
Yeah.
but you've got a blend option by playing with the history. Now, the other thing, and this is where snapshot comes in, and this is getting a little more advanced, but say we went back to our brush, okay, and we wanted to blend this in, okay, and that's too much. But we like it in some places, so we're going to take a snapshot of it, all right?
Mhm.
So that's going to put the snapshot up here. So if you go back to here, it's gone, but if you go to here,
Yeah.
it's there, okay.
Mhm.
So now when you go, depending on where you put this icon, it'll restore from there. So in this case, I want to restore from this image because I want to get rid of some of it. Okay. I'll start here and I'll go back to my history brush here and start getting rid of it. Okay. Now say I went too far.
Mhm.
Bring it back. I would move this icon down here and then I can bring it back. So it's kind of like a mask when you're painting with black and white,
Mhm.
but you're actually using the history. So if you go back before, you can take it out and you go back to current and you can bring it back. So that's a real nice tool to blend if you need it. Okay. So between that and using brush in a different mode beside normal, you can do a lot.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing I might mention, I also took it into Topaz, their simple category of basic correction. And then I backed it off to about 60% opacity of the filter. So that gave it a little different look, but it didn't really change that much from what the Photoshop output looked like. So
That's a good point too, because Topaz can do some subtle things that would be tough to do in one move in Photoshop. You'd have to do a number of things, and
yeah.
and then you've got the opacity to bring it where you want it.
Mhm.
You can take-
Yeah, what you were showing me on that wall, that's the thing I was trying to figure out, and I couldn't really find a
Another way
good.
to do it is just to make another layer, go into Topaz, do something in there, and then bring
Oh,
it and use a mask back and forth to do what I just did, but doing it with a mask instead.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's another way to do it. So just depends on your preference. The biggest thing you got to remember though is to take a snapshot of the state where you've gone a little too far. So
Yeah,
back and forth.
yeah.
Mhm. Now, if you're somewhere along and you've gone too far, let me just go back here real quick.
But do bounce back in the history.
Yeah, you bounce back into history because you can see as we're I'm just going to make a mess here. We're just painting and doing things. Every time I click that brush, it does that. So if I don't go back, I can step back.
Yeah,
Now maybe I want to step back to there, and that's where I want my snapshot.
yeah,
There, that works
Yeah.
well. So if you forgot to do the snapshot or you went too far, you can back it up and then take the snapshot. That's another option.
yeah. But you gotta go picking through to find out where you want to be.
Yeah, and also in your preferences, you want to set up a lot of states because I think it only keeps 10 or 12 at default, but I usually put it up to 50. Then you got a whole bunch you can go through. It gets a little lengthy, but you can try 20 or 30 if you want, but I usually keep it at 50 just because I want a lot of options as I back up. Very nice, Wendell.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
It's all of mine.
All righty. Okay. Well, let's go up to Alan. We'll work our way down. Hopefully we won't miss anybody.
I
Oh,
I
wow.
kind of cheated a little bit here. I put 6 photos in, and this was my 6th one, but I had to put this in for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's one of the best photographs I've ever taken. And 2, this was taken on my phone. And I'm just blown away with how this phone works. Even converting it into black and white, and it's just amazing.
You said your granddaughter is 3 going on 20. Is that what you said?
Going on 23, yeah.
It is
Oh,
very, very nice.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so photogenic.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I loved just the lightness of it and everything. I just
Yes.
like it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did she even know you were there?
No,
Okay.
no. But like I say, one of the main reasons also I wanted is to show you guys this phone, this Samsung phone I've got. You could actually pretty well just use that 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're getting commission on selling Samsung.
Just amazed with it.
You might crop a little bit off the right where that little white pillow sticks in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
or just
Okay.
clone it out.
Yeah.
Or clone it out, either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This bothers me, especially this little thing right here, because it almost.
Oh, yeah. See, I
Disfiguring
never
the
see
face.
these things until you show them.
Yeah. So using what we just learned from the last time, you can do the same thing with a clone brush. Where you can do a couple different things. You can just make a new layer and clone from there. Okay.
Yeah.
And make
I
sure,
didn't even see that. So
and then use current and below so that you're cloning on this layer, but you're using information from below.
okay.
And then you can come in here. And if you get yourself, I'm going to turn this green circle off here for a second, just so you can see the brush, hopefully. Well, it's gray, but you get a big, good sized brush. See how big that brush is?
Yeah.
Okay, get a good sized brush. And then come down to like maybe 20%, hit your 2 key, and then pick up from here. And you want to do your destination here and
Yeah.
just kind of subtly blend this out. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. And you want to do it over her face so that you can come back. Okay. I always go too far.
Okay.
And then I've got two options. Either I can use the history and take a snapshot here and go back between the two like we just did. Or the other way, which is maybe a little easier for most of you, is to just add a mask and then use your brush and make it small and make sure it's a little sharper. So maybe take your hardness down, or I'm sorry, up maybe 60, 70%. So it's a little hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's take the brush down. And then that way you can bring that detail back. Now here, I do the same thing, but I go the other way. I may go a little too far to find my edges. All right. Figure out where the edge of her face is and get rid of the overspray there. All right. Like that. Okay. And then you can hit your X key and just, which gives you white. And then you can bring back the areas that you don't want. And just keep doing that to your heart's content.
Now you've, Sandy, go over that step again of bringing up your second, where you've.
Oh, in the history?
No, in your sample over here. So you've got you did your first, you made your first
Snapshot? You're talking about?
shot, and then you've put another layer in there, and you're working now on what? You've come down to your background layer to do your cloning?
Yeah, actually I'm on this layer. Another
Okay.
good thing to
Got it.
another good thing by turning off the under image, you can see where your overspray is. So see, I missed this stuff. So I'm going to go back and get rid of that with black. Okay, because you don't want any of that on your granddaughter's face, right? But you can see where the cloning has come in on top of this image. So here, if I turn it off, that's what's there. So basically, I just picked,
Yeah.
let me just turn this on again. I just picked up this area here and cloned it over here. And I cloned it intentionally further than what I needed. So then I can create a mask and erase what I don't want.
Okay.
Because it's always better to have more than what you need than not enough. Because then you can blend back and forth across that edge.
That takes a little bit of getting used to, I would think. So
It does. It does. I mean, and I think it's easier than going this way with a history where we would have had to we would have been at this state here, and we would have had to go back to this state by leaving that icon there,
Yeah,
so then you would, at that point, take your history brush and just start pulling it back.
gotcha.
And then if you get too far like that, then you got to go back up here and change your icon and come back and blend back. So you can do it either way. I think it's a little easier and less complicated if you do it by adding a mask, like we did instead
Yeah,
of using
yeah.
the history brush. But you've got the choice of doing either.
Okay,
Okay, that was a little confusing because I introduced two ways of doing something, but I would probably in this case create a layer, clone with current and below selected so that you're on an empty
right,
layer above it.
yeah,
You're putting more on than you need. You add a mask, and then you use your black and white with a brush to erase, or if you switch it to white, you bring it back.
well, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Okay. And you could do the
Uh,
same thing with that pillow that was down in the corner on her jeans. Just grab a slug of this stuff here and clone it
Yeah.
in, grab a little stitching and go across this way. And, grab a little of this and come this way and you've got that thing covered. Okay. Cloning's trial and error. After a while, you get used to where you grab to pick up to make it look realistic. And the other trick is don't always do it at 100%.
Yeah.
Do
Although
it-
you can shoot in RAW and on this phone, you can, it's apparently harder to edit things.
It is harder, I find, on a little screen than using your finger. I prefer to do it on the computer if it's something of serious nature like this. But that's an impressive photograph. The grain structure. Yeah, just probably not quite up to what you get on a more expensive sensor.
No, definitely not. But
Yeah, but for the most part, I think, that's what's in your pocket. And you don't have your camera with you. That's certainly the way to go. It's wonderful.
yeah,
Well, and also it's interesting because you can catch these kids with the camera with the phone, when they would never they would never sit there for you for a camera.
Exactly. It's a whole different paradigm.
It's a whole different paradigm. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, and they would not be candid either. Yeah, I know. All right.
good. Now this one, I just happened to see a couple of little butterflies getting close together and managed to get them. But I did take it into, I used this pretty well exclusively in Topaz with blurring the background a little bit and then bringing out the two butterflies in with the masks and then sharpening them up a little bit as well.
Mhm.
But, yeah, so it's kind of unique to try and get two butterflies at the same time out in the wild anyway. So
Yeah, for sure. I like the way their antennas are and the attitudes of the wing and the positioning.
yeah,
Mhm.
this was I was kind of set up for taking shots of the birds that are coming up here, and I just happened to come across these two butterflies. So I like the color of the top one. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. What do you guys think this could use to make it pop a little more?
Vignette, dark vignette.
That could work, or just darkening the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already made the mask for the blur, so just copy that mask to another layer, and then you can do some basic darkening or a vignette. and keep that mess so the vignette doesn't affect your subjects.
Okay, so darken up that background a bit.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Lumens.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, this is, I don't know what he's doing, but he's kind of exercising, I guess. This is a fairly long shot. These birds, these loons stay out in the middle of the lake, and it's very difficult to get close to them.
Hmm.
So this is, although they're really nice swimming around, this is just a kind of unique
mhm. Cluster.
display it was going through. I liked seeing all the feathers underneath the wings. It was
Yeah.
really different.
Ellen, I wonder if you used sharpening to work on the head, for example, to get that a little bit more just sharp.
Sharpen it up a little bit,
Yeah, I think it would do something.
and the shadows as well, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the motion.
Topaz has a pretty good sharpening program.
Okay.
Yeah, or just the contrast and detail, precision contrast and detail. You can pull a lot up there. And you can be selective, just mask the head and just work on the head with it.
Okay.
Good call, Jim.
In the head. Yeah.
I think overall the exposure maybe could go just a hair darker. What do you guys think?
Overall.
Yeah, overall. Yeah, I think it all could get, it might just be on my monitor, it's different than yours, but it just seems a little light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love the way the wings were flowing there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So,
Yeah,
there's
that's
a-
great.
Those are pretty well grown.
yeah, they're growing pretty quick. So
Is that
again,
is that a male or a female loon? Or
this is a female. Do you
Oh.
see that little blue part around the throat area is the only
Okay.
difference I can see
Here,
between the male and the female. So
this here, Ellen?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But, other than that, they're pretty well very similar. So yeah, again, there are ways out there, but I went specifically there to take photos of them. These loons apparently are pretty aggressive birds, and they don't allow any other species around them. So they've got the whole lake to themselves almost.
Wow.
Yeah. But again, it's it's extended right out there to try and get this. So.
You had a wonderful thing going here with the motion and the sharpness. I'm sorry, someone was going to talk.
What would you think of cropping the top down just a little bit? Where
Yeah,
it's real,
or gradiating it quite a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's gradiate it first. I guess since you work in Topaz, we'll go there. Did it go? No, I guess not. Yeah, try it from here. Maybe it wants me to do it in the middle. Okay. No. All right. I think it's this one. Let's see. Yeah. All right. be that way. Okay. So I guess you could just do a basic adjustment and hit a gradation. Yeah, set it probably somewhere up like this area. And now that time I had the Autodesk guy. It did some interesting things here. You see that?
Yeah.
Let's try that first and see what that does. And then you know you can do a number of things. You can just make your it's the opposite way. So we want to invert it. All right. So I'm just going to click on it. You got these 3 dots here. Just go to invert. There you go. So the white is what's being affected. All right. So here, if we want to drop the shadows, it's darkening the water up. The exposure. Yeah. You can play around a little with that, but let's do another one. We'll just add basic again. And this time when we go to make our mask and we use the gradation, we're going to turn this edge wear off. And just make it 0. See how that just now it's,
Oh,
yeah, if you crank it up, you can see it's quite a bit different. So let's just turn that off. All right. And we're going to want to invert it again. There we go. Oh, doesn't look like it applied. I guess we have to apply it and then invert it. Okay. Oh, doesn't look like it went. Hang on a second here. Take the edge away. All right. I guess the other thing, somewhere here, you should be able to turn this around. I haven't used this in a while. It shows, doesn't it? Oh yeah, here we go. Somewhere in here, should be able to turn it around. There we go. Okay. That's more like it. Okay. And now I'll apply. All right, it's stuck that time. Now we go back to the adjustment controls. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah. Then you don't have to crop it because I kind of like what it's doing. Let's go back to that other one and let's turn that off. Yeah, that's helping, but I think maybe it's a little too much. So if you click on it, you can take this opacity slider and just slide it down a little bit. Yeah, so
yeah.
okay. Yeah, actually, just a little bit I think is enough. So there's your before, there's your after.
Yeah.
Before your eyes going up here.
Yeah, too bright at the back. Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
There.
Okay.
Wow.
Very, very nice.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go.
Good, thanks.
Sure. All right. Let's see this next one here. Oh, very nice.
Oh, wow.
This is I just took this last night outside the front yard. It's just a couple of seed pods from some of the wildflowers we have, and just thought it was a pretty interesting little composition. So
Yeah.
I like it. I really like it.
thanks.
Good
Very,
texture.
very nice. Very nice.
I wouldn't do a thing with this. It's
Now this was I took this into Topaz and can't remember what I did, but I sharpened it up a little bit in there. Not that it really needed it, but I did sharpen it, and I had a mask over the whole thing, and then I went into one of the adjustments, and it made the background go all black there.
Mhm.
I really like that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that with your phone or with your camera?
No, this was with my Nikon Z6 with a 105
Okay.
macro lens. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking more and I'm almost thinking this area here could go dark.
Yeah.
Take it out or
Well, or just darken it up, yeah.
darken it. Okay.
Yeah. You know, something down like this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what you have here is these brown parts are the dead leaves, and they were bright white. And these are all the little seeds that are just kind of falling from the cone. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Mhm.
Yeah, it's neat the way they just kind of grab around it. Very nice.
Thanks.
Ah,
Yeah. So this is another wild flower. I like the this is more or less the way it came in from the camera, just slightly, very slightly cropped in. And took it into one of my favorite ones in Topaz, which is this chalk on the concrete. And I applied that, and then I took away, masked out the center of it to leave it nice and sharp. And then I blended out some of the outside edges just to make it a little bit more interesting.
Very nice effect.
Yeah, nice job, Alan.
Thanks very much.
is this a wildflower in your area?
It is a wildflower, yeah.
Wow, just beautiful.
Mhm.
I love these little teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really pretty. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this one. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice go.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Thanks very much.
No.
Okay, Jim Bowman. See what we got this week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Ah,
That's the badger, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the badger. It's the, yeah, it goes across Lake Michigan once a day now. It used to go twice a day, but but I couldn't, there was some reflection up there in the top of the, right here at the top of the boat, you know, the ship that has some kind of funny reflections. And I probably, if I knew what I was doing, I would be able to take that out, but I don't.
which area are you talking about?
The badger is a car ferry. It goes across from Ludington to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, I believe,
Yes.
and set sail on Lake Michigan on this big thing.
Ah, wow.
Drive your car on and take a ride.
So what reflections are you talking about, Jim?
The ones on, yeah, right there. And on the left-hand side, there is, that's a smokestack that goes all the way up.
Uh-huh.
And then there, I think what they are kind of lights, internal lights that are reflecting, but they kind of don't allow you to, I don't know, there's just something odd about it, but I'm not sure what to do. And then, yeah, right up there.
Maybe just tone these down a little bit.
Yeah.
And this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a fluorescent light on board ship.
Yeah, you could just take this above here and clone it just down to here slightly. So it's
Yeah.
here, but it
Yeah,
looks like a bluer highlight. So it's not so raw and white.
right.
Could work. So maybe 10 or 20. I like the ghostly people here.
Mhm. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I think that works out. Keep there. There we go.
Cool shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little topaz on that.
Yeah, I put a little painterly.
Mhm.
I forget which one I used, but
Right.
did it fairly light job.
Mhm. Now here's
See
another
it?
one where you got a little red fringe here and green fringe here. And if you wanted to get rid of that green, you can take that brush in Photoshop with,
All right,
with hue or color and just pick this color next to it and just get rid of it.
right. Okay,
Yeah, there's all kinds of tricks for that little brush technique when you get out of that normal blending mode and use hue or color. It comes in
Yeah.
handy.
no, that's a good suggestion.
Okay. Very nice. Was this the recent moon?
Pardon?
Was this the recent full moon?
The recent what?
Full moon? Was this
Oh,
the other night?
yeah, that, I don't know, what do they call it?
Strawberry moon, I think.
Right, something like that.
Yeah, I guess some people say because it's red, but I didn't see red. Other people say because it's strawberry season, whatever. I guess they give them names now. So every moon got a name now. Anyway, nice. That worked out well. And you have just enough detail in here to see what's going on. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. Composition's good. Yeah, that works. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is just one of the lakes around. And, you know, you have a choice between, well, I could have, I suppose, did a multiple of a stacked image, but I like the idea of this over here in the foreground, you have the lilies kind of out of focus, and then it just
Mhm.
goes into more focus to draw your eye back.
Mhm. No, I think that works. And maybe
Yep.
darken
Yeah.
it up a little bit so they're not dragging you back here because they are out of focus.
So maybe cut some of them out. In other words,
I wouldn't cut them out. I would just make them darker.
Oh, darker.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little darker. Yeah, because these and this area are pretty much, and this are the lightest areas of your photograph. And then this is kind of like a leading line, which is kind of nice. These work, but these compete with it. So it almost presents another layer. So it's kind of hard to say how much darker I would go. I would go real dark, but maybe just enough to knock them down a bit. So they're not going to do much.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Anybody
That's-
else?
No, or I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, so just typical, um, you know, the lighthouses around here are just kind of sticking out all over the place. There's really quite a few of them in the area. I think this is around a little town called Frankfurt, I think, and just sunset and pretty straightforward. Let's see here. I think I don't know. That was about it.
Mhm. You might want to play with trying to light this. Just
Oh, can you do that?
yeah. Here, let's do a Photoshop. Okay, we'll just duplicate it in case we need to adjust it. You can do it a number of ways. You can do it with a brush. Let's put another layer above it. And, you know, you can just get a brush that's pretty soft. Okay, now that's way too strong. So you just take the opacity down. And then try a different
Blend modes.
blend mode. Well, that kind of makes it red. That's kind of fun. Or maybe something like that.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then you could duplicate it and see if maybe another blend mode on top of that could work. Maybe a screen or something. And then work with the opacity. Maybe something like that. Or maybe,
I know there's some, I forget which program it is, but that you can add the beam in it as well.
yeah, Luminar, you could add a burst to it. Yeah, just use the sun,
Right.
sun on the-
Sunburst.
Yeah, I've had actual real, I've waited for the right real moment when the light was coming, and it's pretty bright.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing you can do is let's just take this into camera raw, and then just use where is it? The radio filter, and just draw yourself a little. Little one here. Let's get in there so we can see what we're doing. Okay. Now we may have to invert this. Try to see where that is, but let's see what it does first. Oh, it's working. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you can play with saturation, you know, and you can even add a color if you wanted to. You know, you could add something.
Well, around here, they're green.
Oh, okay.
Green. Huh.
Yeah, red or green, yeah.
Yeah. Let's turn the overlay off there. There you go.
Yeah, that's good. That works.
Yeah, so that's another way to do it. Just hit OK and then you're done.
Is that red or green to tell you which side of the lake you're on, Jim?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the old right red
Port
return?
and starboard, yeah.
Yeah, right red
Up and
return.
go.
Yeah, if you're coming back to harbor and you don't know what's going on, the red light's always on the right, red return. Okay, there you go. Which means you should be looking for the green one to the left of you somewhere. So you'll run into the break wall. Nice. That'll work. Okay, so that's how you do that. Quick and easy. Okay. Let's. Oh, now I want to go sailing.
So yeah, this is just a typical scene in the harbor.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place here. So again, not much to have done with this one, just brighten it and lighten it.
Now, if you have Luminar, you might be able to, with that sky accent, pull some of these rays out a bit more. I don't know. I wouldn't replace the sky, but you can play with it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a beautiful sky.
yeah, it is. Yeah, you don't always have to replace the sky, you can just enhance it a little bit. But I think this next one really has the sky we're talking about. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, this is Arcadia. And this is a kind of a large swamp lake kind of, it's only like 4 foot deep.
Mhm.
And there's still trees that are kind of I guess, I'm not sure why the trees, some of the dead trees still stand, but maybe it's because the high water level lately, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And the only thing I did is I did stick it into Luminar and added those birds because
Right.
I just didn't feel like the composition was balanced.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that works. I would maybe soften the birds up a little bit. They look almost just a little too sharp for me.
Too sharp?
Yeah. Maybe just take them slightly out of focus. I think there's an adjustment in there for that. I know there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, in the sky replacement there is. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe just knock this building down here or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're good.
Okay.
I love the warmth here and the way it comes across.
That tree's amazing.
Yeah.
Even if it's dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of found like, wow, there it is in the middle of the lake and weeds all around it, but dead.
Yeah.
I think it just got too much
Water.
Is this a brackish area?
Pardon?
Is it a brackish area or is it all fresh?
No, it's beautiful, clean water, but
Okay.
again, I think it's because just the water levels have been so
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
The lake is going back down again. It cycles.
Yeah.
It goes up and then it goes down.
Yeah, I remember one year in Chicago that they were way down. Then a few years later, they were so high they had to build additional platforms on all the walkways and piers because they were underwater. So
Yeah.
it changes quite a bit.
Yeah, it went back down a little bit this year, and I think they say it's going back down now. So
Mhm. Send it this way.
yeah,
Yeah.
take-
We actually got about 20 minutes of rain the other day, which has been the
oh,
first.
that's better. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. No.
Well, thanks for bringing those in. Okay, Jim Murphy.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
the
Nice.
woodpecker.
Yeah.
And, I get tired of blue skies all the time. And also, the wood had kind of a character to it, reminded me of Andrew Wyeth painting.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went in that direction with it. So that's,
I like it. Looks real stark and wintry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it were to crop off the right-hand side.
yeah, I did about 10 different crops on this one. There were, the trees were interesting. I don't know. I just felt more balanced with that, but you could
Sure.
certainly crop it off. I kind of like the trees better than the woodpecker, actually. So,
I tend to agree.
yeah.
I like that tree.
Yeah, I see what you mean, though. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
When you cut it off, it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, trees are awesome.
But I tell you what, you just move that limb on the right-hand side over about maybe a foot.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
In other words, cut and paste.
Yeah.
That's right.
But a beautiful image. Was the background blue and then you turned it white?
It was, because of the exposure I was shooting, it was very little blue there, and I just got rid of it.
Ah, right.
Looks like a high key effect, isn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
absolutely like high key.
Very much so.
But yeah, you could, with it being white, this would be so easy. Just, grow a rectangle and just copy and paste and
Mhm.
move it on over wherever you want it. Maybe somewhere like that. Let's make it a little transparent so you can see where you're going.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, somewhere like
That's cool.
maybe somewhere there. And just get your
Yeah,
map.
there's a lot. I've got a lot more tree to play with.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I cropped it out top and bottom. So
Yeah, just get your mask and take a brush. Maybe use 100% here. And black. There he is. Just paint some white there and you're done.
mhm.
Or crop it over.
Or, yeah, just crop it over.
Yeah, just crop it over. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
More dead trees.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like, and it was in water, just like the last dead tree.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay. Ooh.
Wow.
So I don't know if you think the beak is too close to the edge there. This is a bald eagle before he's got his baldness. And he was eating a crab and then he took off. So this is a takeoff shot. You can see the seaweed and stuff in the background. It's a little grainy, and so it's not super sharp.
And this is just me, but I do think it maybe needs a little more space on the right from his beak.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe double what's there.
Okay.
I would blur out the texture on that background too. So he
Okay.
had all the texture and this stuff isn't competing.
yeah.
Anybody else? Okay.
Nice
Yeah,
image, though.
I like the way that shape is coming through.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of like it the way it is, actually. I like the 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your call on this, but I definitely soften this stuff up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's angry.
This is a bird called a purple martin, which I wasn't familiar with, but they're not uncommon. They go to South America and then come back up here. So they migrate a long ways. It's a swallow. It's the largest swallow in North America. And they're
Used to
not
have
really,
those, just tons
really.
of those back in the Midwest, James.
yeah, they're not really purple, but
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
called.
Because you put up purple Martin houses on top of 30-foot poles.
That's right. So they tend to nest in houses that people put up rather than in holes in trees. So
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were traveling along the eastern seaboard, we saw a lot of martin houses.
Mhm.
Pretty common.
yeah, he was just taking off.
Mhm.
He's got that look like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, him out of here.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think the face could maybe be a hair sharper, but I like the way
Okay.
everything else is going off. Kind of give you some motion. Maybe darken up that wood he's standing on
Okay.
just a bit. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, I think that just distracts a little bit. Yeah, darker would work. Wow.
And I feel like pigeons don't get enough love. So
I was a little smarter than one that lives near here.
So I took this pigeon shot and his head was kind of out of focus. And then I thought, well, I'll try topazing him. So I took it into a topaz filter. I think it's called Vibrant City or Vibrant City Lights or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the effect that I used on this pigeon.
Nice.
I like it.
I like it.
Hey, the pigeon is getting some love now, finally.
Looks like he's coming to get you.
Yeah.
No, they're just dumber than a bag of hammers is what they are.
Who are you calling dumb?
I've seen them get run over by cars in parking garages because they just won't get out of the way.
Like I said, the one here just keeps, running into the window and shakes himself off and flies again.
It goes again.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they're not the brightest, but boy, this one looks like don't mess with me. That's great. No, that's a real nice.
Yeah, I like that topaz, and it
Nice effect.
salvaged.
Yeah.
He salvaged a kind of out of focus, otherwise, unusable picture.
But it really brings out the colors in the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
Totally works.
yeah.
Because usually when we look at them, we don't see those colors. We just
Yeah,
see.
there are iridescent colors around the neck and things that are pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I've seen, I guess, pictures of other pigeons, not American pigeons. These must be of the country, but they've got pastels and pinks and blues, and they're just unbelievable. I mean, as far as coloration is concerned.
Okay, that's a keeper.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I should have sent you the raw file, but I did 2 or 3. This is a fishing boat leaving for Alaska with the volcano, Mount Baker, in the background there.
Mhm.
And I did like 3 versions of it, and I was going to have you do it and see what you could do with the mountain. The mountain was a problem for me. I could never get the mountain, the way I wanted it. And I tried dehaze and, working with blacks and whites and all kinds of different things. And I couldn't get the mountain to pop much.
Right. Yeah.
So it's crooked and everything because that's right out of the camera.
Yeah, let's go to Luminar
No.
4 instead of AI, just to kind of use that old dual tool. And I think y'all have it 4. Not many of you have AI anyway. So let's see what we can do here. I haven't used this one in a while, but I know that in this Pro module, there's one.
So I tried to expose for the highlights. That's why it's so dark.
Yeah. So there's well, first let's just go to essentials, and where are you? There you go. Let's just see what we got here. Now we got the sky enhancer, but it doesn't look like it works as well as the new one does. So let's just leave that off for now. But yeah, let's just give it an overall accent and maybe just do a little bit of structure. Color looks all right for now. We'll just leave that. Now they've got the small, medium, and large detail enhancer. We can go in there. And every once in a while, I like to hit the little, where is it? Oh, let me move this stuff. There we go. There's the before and after. Just got to see where you're at.
Mhm.
Okay. And at this point, I would probably go down to this Pro and use this adjustable gradient. So you've got a top and a bottom, and you can do set orientation, or you can grab this and move it where you want it. Since this thing's already cockeyed, we'll match it. All right. So now you can take your top and play with the exposure on that in contrast. You can cool it off more, you can warm it up, depending on what you want to do. I'll just leave it alone for now. We can do a little more vibrance. Then you do the same thing on the bottom. So you can adjust the exposure there. Contrast, maybe flatten it out a little bit, bring the shadows up. Highlights a tad bit. Maybe we'll warm this up just a bit, see what happens. So you got kind of a warm and cool thing going on. So there you go. All right, now that we have that, then we can go back and play around our heart's content with, you know, enhancing the landscape, maybe get the foliage up there a little more. Look at the dehaze.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the overall exposure could go up slightly, but at least now it's more balanced.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can always go back, you know, and tweak that again. You can go back here and play with your top and bottom again. Now that you got it a little better, you can maybe darken it down a bit and take the contrast down a little bit. The highlights. There you go. So I would probably start there.
Okay.
It's getting pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's where we came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, big difference.
Okay.
Market improvement, yes.
Now, if you go into AI, you could probably play around with the sky enhancer a little more than you can in the Luminar 4. If you have that, if you don't, you may want to wait a little bit. There's another upgrade coming, but I think it might be still included in the initial price. But if you are using Luminar in any, you know, any quantity of images, it might be worth the upgrade. Just, I know recently they had it for 69 or 79 bucks instead of 99. So just keep an eye out and get it up there.
I think it is $79 right